Unfortunately, the sound did not come up on this one. How'd Tyler end up that day?
Oh, he was back a ways.
Right.
Well, a little more figured out all the time. But.
Oh yeah, when he makes a good pass, it's cool to see him make a good pass on that. Well, I guess since there's no sound of this one, we might as well get this thing kicked off. We kind of let it play in the background. Thanks everyone for joining tonight. We're gonna kind of recap Waterloo, Iowa, and New Richmond, Wisconsin, the 2 indoor polls that just happened this last month, and then we're gonna talk with Brandon Jonson and Ron Zissler. These guys are at these events taking photos, and I know, like for me, those are all the videos I'm sharing on Facebook. We've got so many of them printed. I told Ron before, like every device we have that you can pick a picture for the background, it's more than likely something that Ron took a picture for us. And a big shout out to Ron too. Like my dad's Christmas present this last year was a big collage of all the photos of all of us pulling over the years, and Ron took, I'm pretty sure, every single photo in that. So I really appreciate the photos, because when we're trying to get tractors down the track, we don't have time to just sit on the sidelines and try to snap some shots. And even if I did, they wouldn't be as good as what Ron takes. So same to you, Brandon, too. Like all the photos that you guys take are so awesome, so cool to see. I don't know about everybody else, but to me, it's kind of neat when even when I make a good pass, when I see that photo that someone took of me in the front end, 6-8 inches in the air, and I'm making a good pass. I mean, it's really cool. I love seeing it. So I appreciate everything you guys do. Brandon, I can't remember. Were you down in Waterloo? You were, weren't you?
Yeah, I was the only one down there from our team.
Yep, I thought I talked to you down there too. So I guess we can kind of start with Waterloo. Overall, I think the general consensus down there was everyone was happy with the new dirt. That made everyone happy. And then I know personally, I like that they took the dirt out of the pit area. I thought that was kind of nice too. So
sure cleaned things up a lot as far as walking around and keeping the dust down. That I think it really helped for that. I do apologize. I'm kind of fighting a cold here, so if you hear me coughing and hacking, that's what's going on. But no, I in my opinion, the dirt was a huge game changer for them. I'm sure there's a lot to learn, one way or the other. Do's and don'ts, it's a whole different ball game for them. So there's a lot of hooks that have to go across that, and it's hard to keep them consistent no matter where you go for these 200 to 400 hook days.
Yep. And I talked to Longs a little bit up in New Richmond. They said they were, I think Saturday, they're like, yep, we got away on them, and they're like, we've got some things we got to change for next year. But I think everybody appreciated them bringing in the new dirt and trying to make it better. And
absolutely,
it made a difference. I mean, it made a lot of people guess on setups. I mean, it messed with a lot of people, but overall, it was a very good event. I mean, the dirt really made that a lot better. Weather, I mean, I was there, so weather kind of sucked, so that added up.
Yeah, we got snow. What was it? Thursday night, Friday morning? Is that when it was? I don't remember for sure.
Yeah.
If everybody thought I was just the rain man, I bought a truck in December and parked it and told Rose I wasn't getting it out till we went pulling to these 2 poles. And the only 2 times it snowed was the 2 weeks that I decided to go pulling. So not only can I bring rain, I can bring snow too. Just can't get nice weather.
Yeah. I guess I'm just going to shoot up the 1250 Super Mod final for Friday.
Yep, go
ahead. Shoot. It is sideways.
You put all the pictures in sideways on Facebook, so.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to. You have to tilt your head to look at it, I guess. But that's where I pulled them off of. Let's see. Move that for a second. Mr. Bart's come out on top there.
Mm-hmm.
Crew was right behind him. I mean, all in all, the last two events we were at, and them sleds were consistent on keeping everybody within 10 feet of each other. I mean, there was some good hooks in both places. Would I not load all of them? I must not have.
Yeah, like they've already got plans for next year.
Oh, I don't doubt that.
I don't think either Longs or Larson and them, the week after the pull is done or the event's done, they're already planning for next year.
Yeah. It's definitely a year-round deal.
Mm-hmm. It's fine.
Got to finish downloading them here. If I can find them. Oh, let's see.
That Friday at Waterloo too, Rose and Jonson both ran that same tractor and they both went 147.66. They in a tenth of an
Really?
they exact same distance. And what's really depressing is they both got me. I went 147.64. But we put all three hooks of ours within 2/100ths of an inch.
There's your final for Friday. There's two really darn good hooks there in that final on Saturday on that 1350 Open. A lot of guys seen the video. Larry Martin's tractor come down and blow the smoke off the tires. He was turning them pretty hard.
Yeah. Didn't that wreck the rear end?
I guess I didn't hear that, but
I thought he took a bearing out of the rear end on that hook.
We might have.
I think so. If my memory serves me right, I seen a picture a couple days later with him making a comment. He's like, if you want to know how fast the wheels were spinning, check out the bearing or something like that.
That could be. I don't remember right off the top of my head.
But yeah, you start separating tractors by a half an inch. That's fun to watch.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was just gonna show their schedule they got posted.
Okay, perfect.
Anybody else has any schedules they want me to post on our podcast and that? Just send them to me on Messenger. Or Ed, it doesn't matter.
Yep.
And we'll make sure we get them posted. Looks like a pretty good show for them for the year.
Yep.
I do know they have the Iowa State Fair this year.
Yeah.
So that'd be kind of cool.
That'd be cool to go down to. Or check with the boss, see what's going on that day.
I know I've heard of a bunch of different polls this year, or a few anyway, that I'd like to go hit. And it's like, we're so busy with our own. It's hard to get away.
About this time every year is when Rose requests my list of the polls that we're going to try to go to and the polls I'm just going to go watch so she can actually start to plan some camping. But she's kind of on me right now to get that figured out. So
I was working on getting ours finalized here. I'm going to hopefully have them posted tonight. So at least close to a done copy. We're still here waiting on a couple, but it's a pretty tight tentative schedule. So should be pretty close to being what it is.
Okay. I guess then that takes us to New Richmond. That was just 2 weeks ago, week and a half ago. Again, another good event. A lot of tractors there. I mean, they had a lot of hooks 2 days.
It was another awesome time up there.
Yeah, I mean, both of them are just a blast. I mean, a lot of fun both events.
Yes, I don't know. We have a pretty good time at each one.
Oh, Larry's correcting me. It was his 1,000 that he took the spider gears out of the rear end.
Oh, that's why he shot off the track. That's right.
That's right.
Yep, I remember now.
Sorry, Larry. That was me. My bad.
Oh, that's cool. I like watching them. Okay. I like watching them tractors no matter where they're at. Yeah.
That's probably Brian Beckius.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, he shows up with, like, he's going to try to take first through, like, 7th or something like that. Like, holy cow, he's got a lot. And they're always neat to watch. Them limited pro diesel tractors they're cool to watch. Whatever happened to up in New Richmond? What happened? Anybody know what happened to that Burgundy one? They had it up on its side. They were trying to fix something. They never did run it.
That first day I seen them start it, I don't know if that was Thursday or what it was. It looked like they had clutch problems because they had the clutch down. They couldn't get it in gear, and they were having some clutch issues, I believe. I didn't go ask them, but that's just what it looked like.
Was that 582?
No, that had like a case hood on it.
This is 582, and then the deer killer underneath it. The Burgundy one.
I thought that made a pass Saturday, or
Yeah, I
tried to
think
make
it did
a pass
too.
Saturday.
Okay.
Okay, I must have missed it.
Whatever they were working on, they must have found a solution.
Yeah, that's a sharp tractor too.
That's a beautiful tractor. They're all neat, but
yeah, I got a kick out of that Minneapolis Moline diesel.
Yeah,
especially when they put it in the sand.
Yeah, no, that's what I was talking to a couple of them. They're like, yeah, when he's got it on, he's the one to beat.
When he stuck the leaf blower to it, he told me that I was getting an exclusive video of what's under the hood of that thing because he never shows anybody.
Really?
Those guys from Ohio, they don't mess around. They have a good group on Facebook. They have good following.
Oh, yeah. Brian Beckus is saying they did have some clutch issues with that tractor. Is what the issue was. But yeah, overall for the two events, I'd say both Larson's, Longs, they both did great jobs. I mean, as long as we can make them next year, I mean, we're going to be signed up and going again. As long as all my stuff's together, which hopefully my stuff, we're down to just kind of keeping it together at this point for a while. And
exactly. Yep.
And just not trying to reinvent the wheel. I was telling Ron before, we trying to get the third one ready for test and tune, or the new one ready for test and tune, or the new-ish one, new to me, and then starting to put the new motor together for my white tractor. So
it's always something.
Hey, Paul.
Hi.
Hey, Paul.
Marker.
Oh, Paul's looking for a marker.
No, Ted. So yeah, I mean that's about what I've got for them two polls.
All I can say is, guys, keep doing what you're doing because you're doing a darn good job.
Yeah.
Everybody has a good time and a lot of fun. I don't know. We ate more steak that weekend. We were cooking out by the motorhomes, and man, between Travis and I, we brought quite a bit of stuff and a couple other people, and we had, brought a bunch home that was cooked too. So,
too, when we checked in to the hotel in New Richmond, they said that every year since they've started that, it's been more and more people coming. And they said they can't believe how many people are starting to show up for that. But yeah, they were surprised. They're like, you guys really, I mean, the whole hotel was filled with tractor pullers.
I was getting a kick out of the crowd they had going up there. I mean, it wasn't huge, but it was, I mean, it was a pretty good crowd starting to pick up. So
yep,
with the races outside, and that was kind of cool. So
yeah, that was neat.
Over 500 hooks at New Richmond.
That what it was?
Yeah, I couldn't tell you right off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Sounds like I got thunder starting again. So if I bug out,
It's freaking. We had thunder when I come on. It's all sunny here now. Hopefully it stays that way.
I knew I
Doesn't
saved
look-
that graphic from New Richmond. 520 hooks, 10 states and Canada, 221 vehicles.
wow,
Damn.
that's just awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I don't know how many states are in Waterloo. There's got to be a
Yeah,
lot of
there had
states.
been a
out there.
pile down there too.
Yeah, there was tractors from Nebraska and stuff there. So
Yep.
Yeah,
Nebraska, Kentucky, because Tim was there.
yep.
Yep.
Glenn was there.
Yeah, that's cool. You know, it is nice because like when Tim comes up, we don't travel as much as some of you guys, so it's kind of neat to be able to see them guys and BS with them, and when Jim Vest and all them guys come up, it's fun to be able to hang out with them guys and BS for the weekend. And
Yeah, we don't. I don't know. We don't get together as much as we could, but man, we have a good time when we do. So
yeah, we do. Jonathan maybe learned some things he shouldn't, but I'll
You'll
explain
have
them to
that.
the teachers at school.
You'll have that.
part of growing up.
I would rather him be there for a weekend with me hanging out, hearing all that stuff than half the crap he hears at school.
Yeah,
You know, there's times where he asks me a question about turbo impellers and stuff, and I'm like, I'm good. We can have that conversation. I'm fine.
they work. Magic happens inside, and power comes out the other side. So
And that's how Larry and Kyle win. God, that's something too. Even over the last 5 years, the stuff you see is just incredible. And the power some of these guys are cranking out is just nuts. When Cody goes with Rob, it's the best education he gets.
Rob or Scott?
Yeah, who's getting the education? Oh, shoot. What we got over here? So I guess that's kind of the recap of them two.
yeah,
Now I got to kind of talk to you, Brandon and Ron. Like we were talking earlier, the pictures you guys take and the stuff you guys post on the internet is amazing and it's awesome. You know, I kind of like know, I guess, what's your background? What got you into the photography stuff, and what got you taking pictures of tractor pulls? I mean, it's not something a ton of people do. I mean, you guys are both really good at it, but I mean, how did you guys get to where you are?
You want to go first, Brandon?
yeah, I've been a tractor pulling fan since I was knee high to a grasshopper. You know, the first pull I remember was one of the old big indoor pulls in the Coliseums back in the 80s and they didn't just have tractor pulling, they had a car crushing robots and all kinds of stuff. And that's a big deal when you're 5 years old. And I've been a lifelong fan. And my brother started taking photos for Full Pull Productions. I'm from Pennsylvania, and they're out there. And he's like, hey, you want to run a video camera? So in 2014, I started running a video camera while he took pictures. 2 years later, Jason Schultz was like, I told him, I said, hey, there's no jobs out here. And he's like, pack your shit and move to Wisconsin. And the next week I did. So then I ended up here. My brother gave me the camera before I left and said, here, don't touch anything on it. It's already set up. Go have fun with it. And then I hit probably almost 100 events in Wisconsin my first 2 years here, 2016, 2017. Kind of bouncing between doing photos and videos. I kind of do a multitask because most of the stuff I do is to promote on Facebook, and videos are what's popular, and that's what they push. So I kind of balance my time, but at New Richmond, I took 1,200 photos and 700 videos. So that's why I just finished a video from Waterloo today. I haven't even thought about New Richmond. So Yeah, I have a video coming out tomorrow. I'll post some links to it tomorrow. It'll be on Facebook and YouTube of the finals from Saturday at Waterloo in the open class. It's fun to watch, and then it's the last class, so it's nice and quiet in there. And for somebody taking videos, that's like you can hear the tractor and not the tractor and the 5 tractors next to it. So, but yeah, my brother really got me into doing the social media and the taking pictures and the videos. Whole different ball game in Pennsylvania than out here. There's a lot of garden tractor pulling out there, and there's a few mini rod clubs. But if you go to, I'll say, a big tractor pull out there, you'll see 8 classes of trucks and 1 class of tractors. Whereas you come to Wisconsin, you see 8 classes of tractors and 1 class of trucks. So it was kind of a culture shock coming out here where everything's tractor based, and you've got so many clubs in one state. Especially, I don't know how many garden tractor clubs are in Wisconsin. There's ones over by Jonson Creek that run around in Rock County, and it's definitely fun out here. I did a Badger State tractor puller stuff for the last 6 years while my son was younger, and that's why I started getting out the garden tractors and mini rods last year, because he's old enough that I can bring him with me, and they're fun family events.
Mm-hmm.
We've met some people, and people will always say, "Hey, sit on my tractor," and it's not a $500,000 pro stock tractor. It's something he can relate to.
How old is your son now?
He's 6.
Okay.
That's pretty much a synopsis of how I got to where I am right now. We do a lot of social media stuff. I spend
that's something
I spend probably 15 hours a week just doing social media stuff.
That's something I've seen both you guys do. The pictures you get of kids on tractors is always just cool to see. And you talk about people loving them. I mean, I've got a picture Ron took. It was up in Lancaster, and it's close enough that you can see Jonson smile through the helmet. And it's just awesome. And Rose used that picture forever. And Ron keeps taking, or we keep getting good pictures, so we keep slipping or changing them out. But the kids on these garden tractors is really neat, and a lot of people really enjoy them.
Oh, that's the best part of it. When I'm shooting, I'd rather miss some of the older guys than miss any of the kids' classes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's been Chandler and Mackenzie and I always talk about that. We want to turn these kids into rock stars.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of what we try to do with our videos. So we get up close. We don't treat them any different than we would the guy that's got a $500,000 pro stock.
Yep.
Everybody gets a fair share. So to turn those kids into rock stars, those Rasteeds from Nebraska were in Waterloo. Those three boys, man, they think they're celebrities.
They wore you out, didn't they?
And because we made them celebrities on Facebook, so they really get into it. They're tough competitors too for some younger boys.
Heck yeah. So I guess that's Brandon's. Ron, how did you get into all this?
Actually, I got into photography before I got into pulling. Even as a little kid with a Polaroid, race cars and airplanes and pretty much anything I could take a picture of, I did. I didn't get into tractor pull until we moved out to Pecatonica. I grew up in Rockford.
Okay.
So probably mid to late 70s, going out to the Winnebago County Fair. And there was a guy in Peck, Ray Harker, ran Dodge trucks for years, and I was kind of partial to Dodges and started going and kind of got away from it, life and military and family and all that stuff. And about a dozen years ago, Tammy and I got together, and her brother Don he's been involved in trolling forever, and that kind of got me back into it, and I started getting back into photography about the same time. I mean, like I said, a dozen years ago, I didn't know garden tractor pulling even existed. I just knew the big stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So we started hanging around with him, and then started taking some pictures when I wasn't running the scraper for them guys, and kind of went from there. Tammy pulled, I think first year Tammy pulled Don's tractor. Then she bought one, and we redid it, and then that started her pulling. And I still managed to take pictures in between. And then here lately, it's been more Tammy's wanting to do other things, and I've been trying to do a little more photography. So
Oh, cool.
I don't do video. I have enough with photos. You know, Brandon saying he took 1,700 photos or whatever at New Richmond. I had over 4,500 in one video. That was enough.
If I would have been taking videos too, I probably would have had close to that.
Oh yeah.
It's-
And another thing about New Richmond, between both days, there were 6 photographers or videographers there, counting the lady with the newspaper. Did Mackenzie, Brandon, Justin Kent, Hooked Up Polling Promotions was there Saturday, did video all day.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's
Every
probably
time
the
I
biggest.
turned around, there was somebody with a video camera or a camera, and it was kind of neat just to see them all.
Yeah, that's the most I've seen at a, garden tractor pull, quarter scale pull, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
Usually it's just me, or you'll see Beer Money, or maybe one or two other people. But to have a half a dozen of us there, that's something else.
Yeah, I was shocked or surprised how much was up in New Richmond. There was a lot of people taking photos and stuff up there. But, I'm glad you guys talk about how many pictures you take, because I think some people think you guys stand there and take like one photo of a tractor coming down the track, and that's what it is. And I don't think they realize how many times you guys are clicking that button just to try to get that one good shot of that tractor coming down the track.
Now, I spend most of my time in editing. It's like those lights at Waterloo, that building hasn't been updated in 40 years, So I do a lot of, I can correct that in 5 seconds on my computer, but when you got 700 photos to go through, I kind of just pick and choose. And this morning I spent an hour going through pictures from 2016 that I took. I don't remember even seeing them. I got that many photos on my computer, and it's kind of like going on a treasure hunt sometimes. I've been throwing some pictures up on Pulling with Garden Tractors that from Churning Dirt in 2016. I didn't even know I had them. That's that year they ran 3 tracks and you didn't know which way to turn to take a picture.
Oh yeah, that was crazy.
Side. So.
Well, if anyone's got any questions for Ron or Brandon, throw them in the comments. Like I say, I can't tell you how much I appreciate what you guys do, because like I say, it's about impossible for me to get photos of us, and I love it. It's great for us. I mean, everything around our house, if there's a photo, it's probably to do with us truck and tractor pulling. And for us, it runs 3 generations deep, and me, my son, and my dad. So it truly is a family thing for us. But it's just so cool for us to be able to have them shots, and it's without you guys doing that, we wouldn't have them. So
no,
I really
wall behind me. See that wall behind me? I mean, I appreciate it too. I mean, we get that's all we use is pictures you guys take. So,
yeah, and Brandon talks about editing. That's another full-time job besides just taking the photos.
Yep,
I'm one of those guys. Other than a little cropping, what you're seeing is what's coming out of my camera. That's why there's some that are too light, there's some that are too dark, and I don't know. Some people, and I know people that love editing. They'll spend hours and hours and hours, and about 5 minutes in, I'm ready to throw the laptop against the wall. But we do look at every picture. So when I say I took 4,500 pictures, I looked at every one. Well, I'm not done yet, but I've looked at every one of them.
You know, and I don't ever doubt that because, like, there's times where even at an event, Ron, you've shown me pictures. Well, coincidentally, the one that comes to mind is there's two pictures from down in Pumpkin Fest, and the one was the year Tyler put her up on one wheel, and Ron had it. He's like, check it out, and Ron's got that picture, and you can see clear as day underneath that left side tire, and his facial expression, like I'd swear he crapped his pants that day. And then it was, I think, the next year when I lost the weight off of mine and got DQ'd on the only good pass that tractor made, and Ron was able to show me a picture of the weight halfway from the tractor to the ground. I mean, he got the weight mid-fall. I mean, it was cool, but I mean, he had probably 5 or 6 photos of me coming down the track to get that shot. But yeah, that was.
Oh yeah, you know, it's like saying we don't take
Even
one
guys
picture.
with their eyes closed.
Yeah, Bart's sleeping there. That's pretty regular pose for Jim Vest too. I swear most of the pictures I got of him in New Richmond, his eyes were closed.
Flagman? What flagman? Nobody looks at them anyway.
All right, so I'm going to ask both you two, what is the one shot that you're the most proud of? What is the one photo that sticks in your mind that you will always think is about the coolest photo you've ever taken?
Actually, like right now, but because it's so recent, was I got Eisentrout up on one wheel at New Richmond.
Okay.
That was timing, and then the other one with the wheel breaking off of the front of the tractor, I was clicking away as I knew what was going to happen because they were hitting that rut in the middle of the track, and I was just firing as fast as my camera would take pictures, and got lucky and caught some air under one of the tires. And bad luck for him, but it makes great photos. It's just like it's just like summer poles. You know, everyone hates a dusty track, but man, some of the best photos I've ever taken were of a truck hauling ass, and you couldn't even see the sled behind it. So, as far as bigger stuff, I did take a pro stock picture in Dubuque last year that I feel like I just couldn't do any better. I put myself in harm's way to get it, but I just feel like I can't do any better than that photo right there.
Who's the crazy guy standing on the track?
Yeah, I was out in no man's land in between the two tracks at about the 200-foot line. So,
how about you, Ron?
One of my favorite ones was the year they had the monster trucks up at New Richland Center.
Yep.
I don't remember which truck it was, and I just got done talking to Jason Schultz. He says, "Oh, get up, get a little closer." And I got one that just launched off the cars, and he's got all 4 wheels off the ground, and he's almost vertical. I thought that was a pretty cool shot.
Yeah.
And like for the garden tractor, for our tractors and that one you talked about, Tyler, that's a pretty cool one. It always comes to mind. And somebody mentioned Kessel taking a dive last year.
Shot.
I actually asked him before I posted that. You know, some guys might not wanted to see that. And
the dismount.
Yeah,
He almost stuck the landing.
I missed the landing, though. I was too close. That was one good thing about New Richmond this year. There weren't any dismounts. There was 3 last year.
We run into that a lot across the whole sport of pulling. Is one of the Outlaw Pro stocks stuck the rack at the starting line last year, and it got like 3 million views in the first 3 days. Well, I reposted it a few months later, and he texted it. And he's like, people don't understand the concept of time that happened 6 months ago, and I got 25 text messages in the first 5 minutes the video was up. So asking if my tractor was okay, and it's December.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's something else too that I don't know if people realize. Like when you guys stand on the starting line, if you guys have been at enough of these events, you kind of know what's coming. So typically when we see you guys standing closer than the average person should, you guys have a better idea of what's going on and what's happening. And you guys are watching for those, I guess, if those accidents happen, what you need to do to get out of the way. So, I mean, people need to understand that you guys may be real close to the action to get that shot, but you guys also understand the dangers and what's going on when you're there.
Yeah, other than Travis shooting his supercharger pulley off at me, I kind of know what's going to happen. And you realize that we're using telephoto lenses too, so that tractor's 200 feet away, but I'm right up in that driver's face.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's not that close when it's flying at you, but it looks like it's that close.
Yeah,
The pulley I'm talking about.
yeah, the pulley. Yeah, I didn't see that one coming. I'm glad there was nobody in its way because it was moving when it came off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I've seen a flywheel come off and hurt somebody before, and
I think I got a shot of that pulley coming off at Liberty or something. Wasn't as good as the one you had, but
I seen a 4-engine mod lose a supercharger pulley up at Hillsboro a few years ago and hit a guy in the chest, and he had to go to the hospital. It's lucky
sure.
it didn't kill him. He was sitting right next to me. So the funny thing was they said it was too dangerous for us to stand along the track. So they told us to go down and stand we had to stand at the 300-foot line. Well, with supercharged modified engines, that's the last place you want to be standing.
Yeah.
Because that's where they're going to blow up. And it wasn't, 2 hours after they told us we had to move, that guy got hit in the chest with a supercharger pulley right where they told us we had to stand. So I understand that they've got insurance and they've got safety rules too, but you look at the vehicles that are pulling and you can kind of, Ron and I know by what class we're looking at, what dangers we should probably be looking out for too.
yeah, when the V8 mini rods are up, you kind of get away from the track a little bit.
Yeah, I made sure there was a pole in between me and them at New Richmond. So
Everyone has a photo of Travis losing parts.
Who was that?
Tom Lamper.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah, like kids classes, you can almost get out on the track. You usually know they're not going anywhere, but
Yeah. Yeah, look, when they're moving 3 to 5 mile an hour, it's a little bit.
yeah. I think one mini rod class I was up in the stand somewhere. Right in front of the announce table there.
The mini rods in New Richmond, they were all over the track. Those guys,
Oh yeah.
there wasn't a ton of them that had real straight passes.
No, I got some good pictures. What's his name? Spark. I got some good pictures. I got some good pictures of him last year. There was more than one occasion he was on one wheel.
Some of them guys, I'm pretty sure that's the only way they know how to drive.
He messaged me earlier in the week, and I told him, thanks for driving the mini rod like it's supposed to be. Makes for good pictures.
Yeah, we're going to try to hit a lot more. We're going to try to get around Wisconsin to the different smaller clubs this year. Chandler's wife just had a baby, and so he's on lockdown. He has to stay within so close to home, So and then I can hopefully get out a little bit more, and we'll start covering some of the other groups over in eastern Wisconsin and stuff like that. It's just a matter of timing. When you've got kids, they always come first. So,
yep.
I got
like you mentioned
before yet, and but the good thing is I'm single. If he's not here, I just go do what I want.
And you mentioned before too, the amount of pulling that's in this area is just crazy. I mean, you can be at 4 or 5 events a week if you want.
Oh, easily.
There's so many around here.
Yeah, I've been trying to talk to some truck pullers from Pennsylvania and coming out here, and I said, you could hit 4 pulls in 2 days with 6 hooks and not drive more than an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And there's nowhere in the country that you can do that, because I've lived in Ohio, and that's the second biggest polling state after Wisconsin, and they don't have the sheer number of organizations and polls that we have here. So
it's hard to drive through a town and not see a pulling track sitting along a road. You don't have to be a very big town.
And then now they're not in the. Now the lawnmower racing is getting big too. So maybe we'll see some crossover from that I know there's a new track at one of the bars in the Dells built a track behind their. I seen it on the was that Wisconsin Garden Tractor Racing Association or whatever it is. I seen it on their schedule that they have a race in the Dells, and unfortunately, it's that first weekend in May where there's 1,000 things going on.
Mm. Heck yeah.
Well, I know Ron's got a page for his photography where you can request pictures and stuff like that. What's the name of that, Ron?
That's Zissler Photography on Facebook.
Okay.
And this little bit of downtime, I'm hoping to get a actual website done.
Okay.
People be able to order right from the website.
Perfect.
That's a time-consuming thing. I give you credit for that.
Well,
I tried it.
I've made about 4 attempts and I last about a half hour.
Yeah. I messed with Polio and was like, no. It wasn't user friendly, and
Yeah, and I'm cheap, so that doesn't help.
I just want to upload the photos,
Yeah,
the products I want to sell, and that's it.
exactly.
That's all I want to do. And these photo websites are not like that at all. So,
Yeah, I might actually have to break down and pay somebody to do it.
yeah, it's one of the things that you do. The only way I could see it be worth it is if you were doing photography for a living.
Yeah.
And I'm not. I've got other jobs that I've got to do besides being a dad. So
Oh yeah.
it's just, and I hate weddings. I didn't even want to go to my own. So don't ask me to take pictures at a wedding.
Oh no, I don't do weddings.
Let's run a pulling track.
Once in a great while, I'll do a kid. Once in a great while.
Yeah, I took up barrel racing last year, taking pictures of barrel racing, and that was fun because if you think mini rods go every which direction, then you should take pictures of some of these girls that are really good barrel racers because you don't know what direction that horse is going to go. So I did that, and then I went to Wisconsin Horse Pullers Association pull last year. And I got a lot of pictures of that, and that was fun. Taking pictures of something different, and
Sure.
it still involved pulling. It was just horses. The power of those horses is unbelievable.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I filmed some. It was at Greene County Fair. I think it was after we pulled on a Saturday, so that was probably when AMPI had it. But
Yep.
I stayed, and they were doing the horse pulling, and one of the horses actually got loose, and that was pretty interesting.
I can only imagine.
Do I have to worry about that, Bob? But yeah, one of the horses got loose, and he got into the cars in the infield. He did quite a bit of damage.
Brandon, do you have any other? I know you post a lot of the tractor stuff to Beer Money. Do you post stuff on your own page, or pretty much just post it there?
No, not really. Anything garden tractors probably going to be on Pulling with Garden Tractors.
Okay.
And I don't post 100 pictures at once because I've got to run this page year round and keep it going. Plus, it's not only me, my content, but Chandler and Mackenzie too.
Yep.
So Mackenzie runs Outlaw Pulling TV, the streaming service, but a lot of the polls they go to, they have garden tractors before the Outlaw poll in the morning. So she gets a lot of stuff.
Okay.
So I'm trying to share that page, but that page has just exploded. That's out of all the pages that Beer Money runs, that's the most popular. Is Pulling with Garden Tractors by 3 times over.
Really?
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that page is gets roughly 3 million video views a month, and that's 1 minute views because Facebook only counts them 1 minute at a time. But it's really grown. That video of Jan Cleek, for example, that
yeah,
it's 1,800 comments and 3.1 million views. Know, and nobody, even 99.99% of the people that watched that video had never seen that type of polling before. That's what we're doing is we promote. So before Facebook went public and started monetization and all that, you know, it was just me and Schultz going out and getting drunk and doing this for fun. so you know, now we try to be more professional about it. But even if there wasn't a way for us to make money doing this, I'd still be out there doing it just to make average people famous. It's fun. So letting the whole world see, you know, you can have a video go viral and you expose all these people to the things that we love to do.
It floors me that how many people have never seen a tractor pull in general. Certain place, like, you know, they talk about going to the truck show, you know, and they're starting stuff up outside and they're like, I've never seen that before. And it's like, well, we're, you know, I mean, we see it all the time because of where we live and whatever, what we're into, but it's like, it blows my mind on how many people have never seen a tractor go down a track. And it's just amazing to me.
The polls out in Pennsylvania are like that. If you go to your county fair poll, that's probably the only tractor pull in that county for that year. And you'll have 8,000 people in stands. I mean, that's nuts. It's as opposed to Wisconsin, where you've got 5 polls one weekend and 500 people at each. You have one poll out there with 8,000 people. Yeah. You know, the fairs out there, it's a more populated part of the country. And some of the fairs out there, the Richland County Fairgrounds would fit in their cattle barn. So Canfield, Ohio is an example. They pack 10,000 people in for that tractor pull. And that's when you got to have good announcers. And that's a big part of it, is because most of those people sitting in that stand, that might be the only tractor pull they've ever seen in their life. They're not pros where if you want to see a tractor pull in Wisconsin, just drive 5 miles down the road some weekend, and there's probably going to be one going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've told people that before, you know, just because the garden tractors are smaller doesn't mean they're not putting the same amount of time and effort in as the guys with the $500,000 pro stock, you know.
When they were working on that diesel at New Richmond, they had, you know, 8 people to flip that thing on its side. And plus a tool guy handing the guy tools, and you know, it's fun that you can get that up close. It's not there's not a lot of secrets.
No.
Yeah, kind of.
Only better.
That's the type of person you take to a top fuel drags show. Top fuel drags.
You know, and I know we're kind of off the photography subject a little bit, but like years ago, just our local pull here in Platteville, I went to one. I took my brother-in-law with me, and he's not really into truck and tractor pulling a whole lot, but he did grow up on a farm. He knew what it was. And I'm like, well, I go an hour early and I go and walk around and talk to people before. And he's like, all right. And he kind of had that look like he's going to be bored out of his mind. Well, he had never been up close to a pulling tractor, like of any sort. So when we walked up next to a 2-wheel drive or super modified 2-wheel drive, and he's just in awe over the tires. And then when I'm like, well, hey, he'll let you sit in it if he wants. He's like, are you kidding me? I'm like, no. And then, you know, he was on a couple trucks and tractors that night. And by the time he was pulling, he's like, well, when's this one going to run? And when's that other one that, you know, the first one I sat in, when's that one going to run? And he was just baffled at, you know, he had never been to even that side of it. He pictured, you know, some street stock trucks and some farm stock tractors going down the track. And he was all ready to be bored for the night. And he couldn't believe, you know, just the polished aluminum rims and the pits. He was baffled on everything.
If you guys get a chance on YouTube, there's a channel Smarter Every Day, and he did 2 videos. It's tractor pulls. It's not what you think, and tractor pull people are smart. And the guy has a degree in rocket engineering, but he went around and asked these tractor pullers about their vehicles like he knew nothing about it. Like he knows how an injection pump works. He launched rockets into space, but he made a really good video of just he makes his videos for his fans, not himself. But they're excellent videos, and I've watched them multiple times.
He does a very good job with that video. That is a neat video. That was, and I don't know why this is coming to my mind, but when I watched that video, Lance Misick, who has the High Hopes tractor, had just debuted his new tractor. And if you watch that video, his old one's in the back. They're pitted right next to him. So you can see his old one in it. And he had just, when that video came out, he had just debuted that new tractor. And I don't know why, but I just remember Lance Misick's tractor being in the background. He was one of the guys with that video. That's a good video, though.
It's raining pretty hard. I don't know if you can hear that.
Is it really?
Yeah.
We have sun shining in Platteville.
Still?
Yep. Well, it's
dark here.
clouding up some, but
Yeah, getting some thunder here.
what's that say?
They sure
Yeah.
bring back memories.
Yeah, they
Different
do.
pictures. It's neat to go back and just look at different events.
Jonson, my son's really big on that. Like, he'll sit down at night and start flipping through photos because we've got photos from before he started to pull, and he started finding photos of the tractor he runs now. When the very first year we ran that, before we ever did anything with it, he was finding photos of that and photos back when my nephews were running with us, and back when Dad's was still the 4-wheeler, and he'll start asking all kinds of questions and stuff. And yeah, he does that a lot. He'll sit at the computer and look through photos at night. But even there, that's usually our topic on when I'm dropping him off at school in the morning is tractor pulls that we've been to, or what we're doing on the tractors currently. And
My son's more of, is there a fair there? Is there games we can play?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to get him. I took him to the garden tractor polls in Lone Rock last year. Tried it like I can't afford a farm tractor, and I don't live on a farm. Like, this is, if I was going to go pulling, this is what I would do.
Yeah.
Having a full size farm tractor on 1.3 acres this doesn't make sense to me. So.
Well, it don't have to make sense.
Yeah. And then having to buy a big ass truck and a gooseneck to tow it with, that doesn't make sense to me. So,
Well, that's why Tammy and I did what we did.
Yep.
Pull a 6x12 trailer. She started with that little 10 horse, and then we bought the Alice and redid that, and then she bought the 25. We could just get both tractors in the 6x12. Hold them with her Tacoma, and that was our winter storage too. Was the trailer?
Yeah,
you
out of a garage.
you look at, well, I know Brandon was this way too. I was this way. Like the very first couple events we went to, it was a 2-place snowmobile trailer, and we had 2 tractors, and then it turned into 3 tractors, and then we bought the first enclosed trailer, and then it escalated. But yeah, I mean, with a lot of us, I remember the couple that you guys ran a gooseneck trailer for a while, didn't you, Brandon? An open gooseneck trailer for the first little bit.
Yeah, we could fit 6 on there too. Bouncing up to Wisconsin, up to Waupun quite a bit.
Yep.
I had a semi trailer too, and still didn't have enough room.
There's somebody watching that I don't think can fit all. I don't know if we can get all of them in 2 semi trailers.
There's no way.
I mean, we won't list names, but
He knows exactly who he is too.
Yeah. Well, I think Brian Beckius is bringing his stuff on an open trailer.
Yeah.
actually, I think you're right.
I've been in RJ Simon's shop, so
Yeah.
I've seen some stuff. Schultz and I ran over there the first year he had the Farley pull, and he gave us a tour of the shop, and he had 5 unlimited modified tractors and 6 2-wheel drive trucks, and just stuff. He's got full-time engine builders and stuff that just would just blow your mind. And he hires drivers because he has so many vehicles, you know. So
Years ago when Cloverdale was still going on, I went down in what's his name? Runs the bootlegger tractors. I was in his trailer that day. That thing was a sweet setup. I know RJ did a walkthrough of that, but that was a sweet ride there. They had that thing all laid out with all the canopies and everything, and he's like, "Yeah, come on in," and that was a cool trailer.
I didn't even care to look at the inside of it. The outside is awesome.
Oh, yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah, you talk about going back and looking at old photos, Ed. I go back and look at some of my old photos and think, God, I was horrible.
No, you're old. Some of the photos you've got of Jonson when he started pulling at 4 are some of the best photos we have. Like, they are just cool. When he was real young like that, when the tractor almost looked too big for him, those are some of our favorite photos. And now with him in this tractor, again, he looks almost too small for it. But yeah.
Yeah, like you know, Jonathan, like when he was pulling that stalker, he almost looked disinterested sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now you got him on your old tractor, and you can't peel a smile off his face.
He looks like he was born to drive that tractor, and he does
Drives
such
better
a good
than I
job.
ever did. He seriously, and granted, we've done a lot of work to it to make. I mean, we find out the rear end was a big issue with it, but I mean, he's been driving that thing a lot better than I ever did. And if his dad could learn how to set up a tractor, he'd do even better. But he'll let me know too if I screw it up.
Excuse me.
You know, I can remember, like Brendan, you were talking, your son's always asking about games and stuff. That was when Jonathan was 4 and 5 and 6. He liked tractor pulling, but you start going to a pull for 6 hours, and it was a lot for him. You know, he wants to keep moving, so just sitting there all day. There were times that by the time he get ready to hook, he's like, "I'm ready to go."
Yeah.
Older he got, the more that changed. And I've never pushed where, like, when I go to a tractor pull at night, I've never been like, "Hey, do you want to come?" If he doesn't ask me to come, a lot of times, if I'm going to watch the big stuff, I won't. He knows I'm going, and if he wants to come, he comes with. But I don't ever push him to go to all of them, just because he's been around tractor pulling his whole life. I don't want to burn him out because we have so much fun doing it. And the older he gets, the more he's, let's do this and let's do this. And now he's already, when are we getting a mini rod? And I'm like, hold up.
I usually, as far as the big pulls, I usually take Nash to Darlington. That's usually where I take him, because I can't take photos down there because the lighting is so awful, right? So I'm like, we're just going to go to Darlington. It's a nice little fair. You don't got to wait in any lines for the rides. And we can go walk around the pit area. It's at a racetrack. You got plenty of room. And it's a fun pull to spectate at. It is. And they put on a great show. It's just, it's dark. It's really dark to the point of it worries me for safety in the pit area, you know?
Yeah.
But they only do that tractor pull 1 week a year, and they race all year. So I guess whatever works for the racing people. But I don't know how they can see in their trailers either. But they put on a great pull. But I'm a photographer, so of course I'm going to bitch about the lights. Right?
Oh yeah.
I want to say there was talk of them moving the fairgrounds at one point in time. They were thinking about moving up on top of the hill, like where 81 comes in.
Yeah, it's wet down there.
Yeah.
Oh, it's been underwater more than once.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like Richmond.
More than once a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is, if you go to a race there, the lighting's hell of a lot better than at the tractor pull. So I don't think they're turning them all on.
Maybe they're not. I don't. Warren finally upgraded their lights at their fairgrounds, which was a big deal. There was 1 year I filmed a 2-wheel drive truck class, and Jason Sullivan's bright green corn burner truck was the only one you could see from the 300-foot line. They brag about Warren being the oldest grandstands in the United States or whatever, and yeah, I think Thomas Edison had made those light bulbs in his shop. They were the original light bulbs, but they've got good LED lights now. So from a safety perspective, if the finishing flagman can't even see the vehicle at the starting line, I mean, how could you say that was safe? So
Yeah.
That's something too. Our local poll's been, they upgraded, I think, half the lights last year, and they're hoping to get the other half done up here in Platteville. But that's another one too, that the grandstands on the pit side they're plenty close. Like, they're gonna have to watch that, because they run them tractors. You're within 10 feet of the people, then you get to the 300-foot mark and you're on the right side of the track. When I announce it, we'll have dirt chunks hit us if they run that right side.
Yep.
Yeah,
Warren, I know they got a gold grant for all the lights on the fairgrounds. They got some grant through the electric company and got them all replaced. So otherwise, there was no way they could afford to do it.
yeah, the bulbs are cheap. It's the electricians that aren't.
Yeah. Well. Yep.
Yeah, the Greene County Fair, that's a little bit dark too.
Yeah.
That's a tough one to shoot.
Well, aren't the lights in front of the track
Yeah, I think so.
more towards the grandstand?
Yeah, that's a tough one. I'd say probably the best one for indoors is probably Liberty that I've been to. The lighting's pretty consistent. Powderly's good till it starts getting dark. Those windows on either side help a lot during the daytime, but it starts getting dark. Powderly gets real tough.
New Richmond has a dark spot back in the corner of the starting line there, but
Then you got to watch you don't shoot toward the garage door, because then you get blinded.
it blows your photos out. All you see is the sun.
Yep.
Darn clean air.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, when Scalzos pull, it doesn't matter if the doors are open or not.
Right.
That thing kicks the smoke out.
Don't take long to get rid of it, though. They got a pretty good ventilation system.
Yeah,
in there.
yeah. Well, I suppose they're racing motocross in there all winter.
Yeah.
He's snorting 2-stroke fumes all night or all day.
Yeah. And what, they race go-karts in there? Is that
Yeah,
right?
great. Yeah, during the spring and summers, go-karts.
Oh, okay.
Flat track. They flatten the track out now. I don't know. They wanted it more flat than ovals or than banks. So
Yeah.
that's why it all got flattened out this year. So they were changing it for them.
Yeah, last year seemed like the track was a little more elevated than the pits.
Yeah.
Like a foot or two.
Yeah, they had everything pushed out and up,
Yep.
and they
That
wanted
makes
it all flat now.
That made for some pretty good shooting. I could sit in a chair and almost look like I was sitting on the ground.
Yeah.
And the tractor's coming at you that way.
There's a few tracks like that. Toma is like that.
Yep.
One year I took pictures up there, and not only was a track 3 foot above you to begin with, that was the year they scraped 6 feet of mud off onto the side. And I was standing straight up, and I had my ex-girlfriend with me, and she's 5'1", and she couldn't take pictures over those mud piles.
Well, cool.
You'll see me a lot when I take pictures. I get down on my knees because I'm trying. You want to try to make the vehicles look larger than life, especially with garden tractors. I don't want to be looking down on them. I just don't like the way that it looks.
I wish I could get down on my knees.
Oh,
It'd be 2 or 3 hooks before I got back up.
you see, Saturday, New Richmond, I was sitting Indian style, even though the kids aren't allowed to say that anymore. But my knees couldn't take that anymore. Couldn't take it after the first day. So
Yeah, Waterloo, you don't dare sit down because you're too close to the track.
yeah,
In case you got to get the hell out of the way.
In case Larry Martin got down the track.
Yeah,
what impressed me about Waterloo is number one, the pace of the show is that they keep moving, you know,
Yep.
they don't stop. And then how they keep everything organized that way without stopping. And then there's a tractor parked on every square inch of that property that you could park a tractor.
Oh
Yeah, if they're gonna have a problem, that's what's gonna be. Is they're gonna run like the room for the tractors. Like,
Run out of
holy
room?
cow, the amount of stuff that's showing up, we're gonna start to run out of room to park them, and we'll have them in trailers and stuff. And
Somebody commented and said, "Hey, can you get in the pits there?" And I'm like, the entire place is the pit,
fits, yeah.
right? So if you want to go to the concession stand, they've got 16 tractors packed in the hallway to get there.
Mm-hmm.
You got to sit on 3 tractors to get there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. They kept everything straight, and that's why I give them credit at both places to do that many hooks.
I will say I thought both places did a pretty dang good job of trying to get them over the scales in the order, and they're pretty good about that too when they talk in the drivers meeting. And if you've gone to them, you kind of know the routine, but they like you to scale them as close as you can to in order, and they get ready. They don't want to wait. The ladies at the scales at both places were right on it, and they watching everything and getting you on and off the track or getting off and on the scale. And both places I thought did a really good job of trying to keep everyone moving.
Yeah. Other than the sled issues with the Iron Pony, I mean,
yeah,
that show would have ran just as smooth as Waterloo.
But when was the last time you got to see them tape measure a track?
Oh,
That's been a while.
So
that was my first time.
Yes, it takes a while, but that was one of those things like, Jonathan, that's how they used to do it. I mean, he's like, because he asked me, he's like, what are they doing? I'm like, that's how they're measuring it.
I don't
And
have a
he
tape
thought that
measure in
was
the truck to
interesting.
do that anymore.
Hmm?
I don't have a tape measure in the U-Haul anymore to if ours breaks. I never
think-
give it a thought.
I think they had thought of that as a backup plan because they had everything there.
Yeah, they had 2 big tape measures they strung out, and
They had the pins and
yeah,
I think and after the first couple times they weren't really slowing it down that much. It's like a NASCAR pit. It's like a NASCAR pit crew. Everybody knows their job.
yep.
The
worst part was when the sled went out of over the line and screwed up the tape a little bit. I don't think it ever broke, but I don't know how it never broke. But yeah, it was it was kind of sketchy there for a little bit with it sticking there in the middle between the tracks.
But yeah, I'm going to say it's been the 90s since I've seen that done.
Yeah, I would say probably mid 90s.
The last I can remember them doing that at a tri-state event in Cuba City, Wisconsin. Is the last time I can actually remember them doing that. And there were people wondering how accurate they were because they had it down to like the winner had it by like 1/10 of an inch, and they're like, really? Like,
Wow.
you're that accurate?
That's a piece of dirt.
Mm-hmm.
I started actually working at tractor pulls when I was 16, so 1998, and that was we had just gotten a laser,
Okay.
right? So anything before that with brush pulling and the part of the area I lived in was tape measures.
And I'm trying to think. With the Terminator sleds, I think probably been one of the first ones up in this area that really went to that.
Agritronic.
I'm trying to think, how long did Brad have them if he had them back then?
So did everybody go to the Agritronics and then went to the laser, or was the laser first?
I don't remember. I never seen an Agritronic system before I moved out here, so I don't have any idea about that.
I wasn't sure.
That'd be a question for Brad Crutchen.
Yeah.
He might get a message from me on Messenger tomorrow.
I'm sure the laser was probably first, but I mean the Agtronics system works great as long as your tires stay on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Works good for us.
yeah, I'm supposed to call one of the Co brothers this week, and they would know too. So
Sure. Well, Brandon, what's the next event you're going to?
oh, well, I'm going to a plow day this Saturday.
No.
Because it's apparent. I found out last year it's popular to videotape got old guys driving around in circles in the bean field. But the next actual poll is there's a test tune in Earlville, Iowa. Test
sure.
tune down there. It's the same day as Vintage Torque Fest, so they hit Vintage Torque Fest in Dubuque and then shoot down in Earlville for Midwest Pride in Your Ride. They do a test and tune and they do semi truck drag racing in the afternoon.
Okay.
Saturday.
They do.
It's a fun.
They do.
It makes a fun day of it. Last year the weather was terrible. At Vintage Torque Fest on Saturday.
Yep.
So they didn't have half the cars and stuff that they thought they would. But I did. They do the mini bike racing in the swamp down behind the Dubuque Fairgrounds, and that's a fun crew. The mini bike guys. But I think that one of them told me that their motto was drugs, not hugs. So, they're
nice.
Yeah, they're a wild bunch. Fun to hang out with. Fun announcer. And, yeah, there's so much interesting stuff that goes on that you just don't know about.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'll find these hole in the wall events like, and that's kind of what I'm after. I want to go to the places that nobody else is going to.
Hell, I've been doing that for years. Basically doing garden tractor pulling all the time. Like I said, up till recently when, beer money started getting more involved with it, I was I'd see one guy at Liberty and that'd be pretty much it. I think the first time I saw you was up at, Jesus Christ, Hillsboro.
Oh.
You were walking around taking pictures. That was AMPI poll.
Yeah, I'm just getting. I wanted to do the garden tractor stuff years ago. It's just like I couldn't when my son was young, and
well, yeah, I understand.
Badger State stuff was all within an hour of my house. So I kind of did that stuff for a few years, and now it's to the point where I only need to go to 2 or 3 of their polls a year because you know how many pictures of the 466 Express I have after 8 years.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, like I no doubt some of these tractors that pull with Badger State tractor pullers, I have 150 to 200 pictures of.
Well, that's kind of like
They haven't changed a bit. They look the same. The only thing that changes is the sponsor stickers on the side every year. So
it's kind of like the ATV club. I've probably got everybody from 2016, 2015 on. I've seen every change and every different tractor and watch the kids grow up and watch kids couldn't even push the clutch pedal in. Now they're driving 4-cylinders.
Yep.
I know one of them kids.
Yeah.
He still can't push the clutch yet.
He's not the strongest kid. I'll say that.
Yeah.
He struggled trying to take off with dads, but that tractor is kind of a bear to drive no matter what.
And it's funny, can't ever say Tyler was a little kid, but he was, and he still got the same intensity when he gets on that tractor, whether it was Big T or driving backdraft. He's got the same look on his face.
Them determined eyes that is.
Oh
like,
yeah.
Just cool it down a little bit, man. You're supposed to be having fun.
Them eyes are good for another 3 feet.
Yeah. Yeah, tell me about it after last year.
Oh yeah.
Putting hurting on me.
Yeah. Oh well, or looking at Carson.
Yeah.
Pulling a 12 horse. Now he's on a 4-cylinder.
Yep. That's going to be pretty bad this year too, the way it sounds. So.
Yep, just a little bit bigger.
Yep.
I haven't seen it yet. I think
just another 1,000.
Yeah. Oh, I think it was more than 1,000.
Just Larry's words. Just another
1,000.
Yeah, and talking about the garden tractors, just the variety of stuff. Snowmobile engines, motorcycle engines, car engines, turbochargers, superchargers. Rob Jackson had the rotary for a while.
Yep.
diesels.
Marvin
Yeah.
the Martian.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Marvin
exactly.
the Martian.
And that thing's been around forever.
Ever. Yeah.
Yeah.
When did he
Bill's
build
Little
that?
Deer.
Oh. He just said it the other day. How many years? It's been pulling for 29 years. I want to say he told me something like that.
Wow.
He only broke 2 rear ends, something like that. He broke one in Waterloo.
Yeah.
I don't doubt that.
That track had some bite. Everybody's used to that sandy stuff, and he couldn't get hooked up and went from one extreme to the other.
Well, then that first day when he took off and didn't realize the chain had slack in it, that was bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
What's your next? What's that?
my next poll?
Yeah.
You haven't put the schedule out yet. I don't know.
He'll tell you in 10 minutes when the schedule gets posted.
I'll probably testing to him.
Our first hook is Boaz, June 8th.
Oh
Okay.
shit.
Running 2 classes. We're running 2 sleds up there.
Well, I'll be a Boaz, but I haven't decided yet. I think May 18th, big tractors at Cuba City, and then bucket list shoot to be going down to that Polars Championship, and that's the same weekend.
Oh.
Oh, sure.
But Cuba City's a little bit closer to Nashville, Illinois.
No, that's true.
Cuba City should not be in May. It's always Father's Day weekend.
I thought it was May 18th.
It's a testing tune.
Oh, is that
That's in
Cuba City or Mineral Point?
no, it's Iowa County Fairgrounds, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's practice. There's a practice coming up there too.
Yep.
Yeah, it's on the 18th of May.
Yep. Okay. I was like,
Oh,
yeah,
man.
traditionally Cuba City.
Yeah, it's getting deep now.
Just a minute. I got to get my boots on.
Too late for the boot. Save the watch.
Hold my hand up.
But I think he did. I think he said he did de-stroke the Hayabusa.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pretty bad when you got too much power.
Yeah. Someday. It's that per cylinder.
He was just running too much boost on that Busa.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
Dale's
yeah,
Little Deer, that's a Volkswagen engine with a Detroit diesel supercharger on it.
Oh, Dale.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's been around. That one's been around forever too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they said he hasn't changed a thing on that tractor in 30-some years or something like that. Somebody told me.
That's been around a long time.
The sound that comes from that tractor is something everyone needs to hear in person.
Oh, yeah.
It's
yeah.
unbelievable.
Videos do not do that justice.
No, they don't. You'd think that there was an NHRA drag car sitting next to you,
Yeah.
and it's a Volkswagen minibus engine.
Yep. Probably.
I don't know how many times I've started Travis's blown tractor, and you would think I would put earplugs in before I help him start that. Man, that is loud.
Yeah.
It is just loud.
I'm curious to see how Bollinger's tractor is
Yeah.
going to sound now, putting them Chargers on top of them Allisons.
That's going to be a unique sound there.
That's going to be ear piercing loud. I can't wait. That day I seen that photo. That is just. I've always loved that tractor to begin with, but that is just crazy cool that they did that.
They had a video of it running, but I didn't. It's hard on the video, like we just talked about, but
Mm-hmm.
it's definitely unique.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you guys have seen that City Slicker tractor. It's got the
Yeah.
transverse mounted chain driven
Yeah.
turbocharged movable weight.
Yep.
I grew up 20 miles from that guy, so I've videoed it in person. And
Yeah, that was at Richland Center one year, wasn't it?
no, I don't think
Pretty sure it was.
not the City Slicker. He was
Sure looked like it.
that guy's got to be 90 years old.
Is he still driving it?
No, I think somebody else drives it, but
Okay.
he's still out there backing him up to the line and turning knobs and levers and tuning it. And as far as I know, he's still out there. He's still the one wrenching on it. he had sliding weights built inside of the frame rail that he could move as he went down the track. So
Before that clause got put in.
yeah, he was the reason for the rule, probably. You got somebody.
I'm sure there was a few guys.
Yeah, somebody's got to be the reason for every rule.
Oh yeah.
Tell my wife just another time. Well, I want to thank both of you guys for coming on.
Yeah.
No problem.
Like I say, I know I've said it before, but we love the photos you guys take. I mean, they're all over social media. I mean, you guys are helping. You guys are the reason that garden tractors are getting much bigger every year. And again, especially guys for me that love having these photos around for the memories. I mean, I really appreciate it.
Yeah, when I look back at photos I took 8-9 years ago, and I remember the cool people that I met at that pole and who bought me lunch or just the different people, because I would just in 2017 I hit 50 poles. I was just showing up at random poles, like ripping FFA. Like it didn't matter. I was just showing up like, hey, can I run my video camera? Nobody had ever taken pictures of any of them guys before. Nobody had ever taken videos of them, and I think that's fun, too. I love tractor pulling so much that I want to share it with the world.
Mm-hmm.
As cliche, as corny as that sounds.
But we need guys that want to do that,
Mm-hmm.
want to do what you guys do, because that's how people see it. Otherwise nobody'd see what we do.
Oh, no.
We don't.
Yeah, I hit 50 poles that year, probably put 15,000 miles on my car just within Wisconsin, and I didn't make a penny. I didn't make a penny. I did it for fun, We were doing it for fun, and I went through some old photos and found a picture of me and Schultz hammered in a bar in Norwalk about 3:00 in the morning the other day, and I remember that. And Schultz had the whole bar singing "Don't Stop Believing" in karaoke, and good times. If I didn't have them pictures,
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, we sure don't get rich doing this.
No, and that's why I said I don't do prints. I don't like doing prints because you get a lot of money wrapped up in chasing people down for money. But digital downloads, I posted something on Facebook yesterday. A 4K TV is 8.3 megapixels. Our pictures are 24. So
Yours are that good?
yeah, they're.
I think my decent.
Any modern camera shooting at 24 megapixels. So
Mine are antique.
If you want to buy a digital download, you're getting a photo that you could blow up 8 feet wide and it would still look great.
Yeah, I think
one of our pictures off of Facebook and take it to Walgreens and blow it up to 20 by 30, it's going to look like crap.
Oh, I know.
Because when I upload a photo to Facebook, it's 12 megabits. If I right click and save it again, it's like a half. So they're cutting the quality of the photos down by
by
90%. So
I've been what little I have sold. I've been pretty lucky on people not trying to screw me over. And I cut them a deal. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I print most everything at CVS. And if I'm getting a break from CVS, whoever bought the picture is getting a break.
Yeah, that's what I do. If somebody wants prints, I'll Google coupon codes because I got to pay the same price as everybody else.
I mean, and I've done as large as 20 by 30. They get pricey, but hey, as long as they're willing to pay, I'll get it printed out. And CVS's printer does a nice job. So
yeah, I did some banners last year for people and blew them up to 4 feet by 6 feet, and the photos look amazing. They're just unbelievable. You can still read the fine print on the stickers, on the sponsor stickers on the side of the tractor at 4 feet by 6 feet. So
yeah, that's pretty impressive.
So you pay me for, I only charge usually most across the board, because I know all the photographers. We usually only charge $25 for some digital downloads. I'm not trying to break somebody's arm or steal your prosthetic leg. but that helps us. That's my gas money to get to the next pull.
Oh yeah.
So
I mean, like I said, I've said before, and most everybody knows I'm cheap. I mean, hell, the last 2 years of Liberty, I slept in my car or a tent. I figured, hell, that saves me $120 or goes for food or gas. And like I said, we don't get rich. I said my biggest complaint is I'll be going through different social media stuff, and hey, there's one of my pictures, and I'll look like, well, they didn't ask me about that. And that's the only thing that really burns my butt. If you ask, 9 times out of 10, if you ask, hey, can I use that picture? Yeah, no problem. When you don't ask, that's when I start having a problem. So,
yeah, I actually had somebody text me one time and be like, hey, I saved one of your photos off of Facebook and blew it up at Walgreens and it didn't come out. Why not? And I won't say who it is, but they've got a $300,000 tractor. You know how am I supposed to feel about that?
mm-hmm.
I only charge $25 for a digital download, and that's usually I'll send you the whole set, the whole 6 or 7 pictures I took down the track. So I won't mention any names, but it's not just me. I know all of us photographers talk to each other, and it happens all the time. People will actually message us and ask us why the pictures they saved off of Facebook didn't come out when they tried to print them out.
I haven't had that yet. I guess I've been lucky there. Or maybe they just figure I'm just that lousy. I don't know.
No. So with that, how do people get a hold of you if they would like to get some copies or get, a digital print or get it so they can go make copies? Just message you on Facebook or?
Yeah, just message.
Yeah.
I'm easy to find. I have a blue check mark, so I'm not hiding from anybody. So I'm easy to find. So
yeah, if you can, most people that know my pictures, follow the page and my phone number's on there, and you can get me through Messenger. And
yeah.
I think I've got an email on there, which I need to check more often. But
because of the spam messaging, pulling with garden tractors or something is probably not a good way to get a hold of me. That page gets 50 of those stupid your page is going to be deleted spam messages every day, and I've got 40 different inboxes to sort through on different pages. But message me personally and you'll get a hold of me.
yeah, that's usually the best. Or I'll have people come up with a poll. Hey, can you make this, print this picture or that picture? And
there's certain people I'll do prints for, and just because they're old school and they want to mail me a business check so they can use it as a tax write-off or whatever. But I prefer, I'll sell you the digital download and I'll even tell you where to print it at. so I'm not hiding anything, because I use Nation's Photo Lab most of the time if I'm going to do prints, and I pay the same price as you would if I sent you the picture and you ordered it. I'd rather you pay me to buy the digital download, and then you can go to their site and put the picture on a coffee mug or whatever the heck you want. So,
I had that one of the guys in Waterloo with the snowmobile tractor. I think he's like 87 years old.
Yeah.
And he showed me, or he told me what tractors he wanted, and handed me his business card and some cash and send them here. Okay. So.
Well, good. Yeah, those loud snowmobile tractors, them guys that have them snowmobile engines, I mean, what the hell? Just
I don't know who has one of them.
Oh, they sound good. Especially
when we were loading that tractor to leave Waterloo, it started on the second pull and the cord broke. I'm like, wow, that was good timing, but damn.
Yep.
I felt like then when up in New Richmond, when the guys were trying to start that twin engine one and the cord broke, and I'm like, I know, done there, man. Holy crap. And I don't know, did they ever figure out what was wrong with that second engine that day? I don't think they tried to hook it again after that.
Was that blue one?
Yeah, that blue one with the twin 700s in it.
Just a latte mower. That's what they call it.
Mm-hmm.
I got a video I'll put up of the guy tuning those motors, tuning the carbs. I thought it was pretty cool.
Their throttle setup on that is kind of cool too.
Yeah.
How you can run each individual, and then the big lever pushes both of them ahead.
Yeah, I took a video of how they tune them together and pushing the two different throttle levers, and it's neat to see. That's the kind of stuff I like to take videos of, because anybody can stand at the end of the track and do whatever. And I know, Ed, your videos, you get up close, and people like to see parts of the pool that they wouldn't get to see if they were sitting in the stands.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Pro stock warm-up videos and stuff like that, spraying ether in the turbos. People just eat that stuff up.
And
nobody ever gets to see that from the stands.
It's funny you say that pro stock warm-up thing, because years ago, again, when Cloverdale was still going, I stood outside and I was doing a video on the Beer Money page of the pro stocks warming up, and that dang video of me just standing outside watching a couple guys warm up their pro stocks got like more views than all the photos of the guys coming down the track. And it was just me standing outside watching 5 or 6 pro stocks warm up. But like you say, it's not what you see all the time.
What's the guys in Platteville in the banana suit and the gorilla suit on the scraper tractors?
Oh God. Forgot about that.
Or the two guys in Ohio with the belly scrapers on their tractors that drive up and down the track about 25 miles an hour. I took videos of them down in Georgia in November. And everyone knows them two guys. People will watch them guys work a track like no other. They are the best in the business, and they're fast at what they do. Try to show those guys some love. I've been watching Ted Ferguson with that belly scraper for 25 years. So I grew up watching OSTPA, and he does all their track maintenance for them. So,
and I don't think the people know, the general public knows what it takes to put a show on like that, as far as track prep and maintenance and what goes into trying to make that track consistent, and what you can't see. Because you can sit in the stands all day long and look at a track and it's like, yeah, it don't look too bad. But man, you go down on the track and it's like, whoa, that's a lot different than what I thought it was,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even from class to class and how it changes. And it's, I don't know. It's, you don't know it until you're out on it and see it and really know what happens.
Yeah. Especially dedicated pulling tracks like say Hillsboro, where that's the only thing. They built that track. They probably started 12 feet underneath the surface of that track.
Yeah.
I know Utica's like that. I've talked to Smithbacks about it, and they put they put years of work into that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And at the end of the day, to fold up to 180 hooks, but there's very few tracks that can do that, except for dedicated pulling tracks like Hillsboro or Utica, tracks like that.
Trying to get that
like
track consistency.
Like us at Wyoming, go from daylight to night, and that track changes 100%.
Yeah.
That moisture starts coming up, and
Yep.
It rains.
Well, yeah,
Rains.
or Lancaster. You go from a sunny afternoon to dark, and all that moisture comes up, and you start popping rear ends, and you start finding the weak links.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Somebody needs to haul in some of that clay they got in the mountains of Pennsylvania out here. I've watched a diesel truck class where 13 of the 17 trucks sheared a ring and pinion. They need to get some of that out here, mix it in with some of these tracks that are sand. My brother did a live on Beer Money one night, and tires broke off and axles snapped in half, and those clay tracks out there, when that moisture comes up, oh boy, you're gonna find out how good your drive line is.
Who was that? Come on, Larry. I will say I think Longs had the best post going up to the event when they showed the picture of the indoor track covered and said they were not taking all the precautions they could since I was coming. Brandon, I don't know if you know this, but like for a long time, it seemed like if I had something to do with an event or if I was helping plan an event, it got rained out. Like it was notorious. I would have rained out events.
Well, I mean, we had the same problem 4 years in a row with churning dirt up here. You know, the 1 year we had rain insurance until 7, and it rained at 7:05. So
Yep, I was there.
yeah.
And there's just certain times of year when
the event to put on too. I mean,
with
the helicopter rides and snowmobile drag races and demolition derby, and you know, that's what I said. The biggest problem with why we don't do it anymore is volunteers to put on an event. Somebody to weed whack, because the 90-year-old guys that run the fairgrounds that can only see out of one eye and were here when this was a dry county hate the event. They wouldn't even cut the grass at the fairgrounds. They'd stop cutting the grass on purpose weeks before the event. Like, you know, the kind of stuff that we had to go cut grass and weed whack.
That's got to be Larry.
Who can guess who that is?
Larry got a little rain 2 years ago in Central City out in Iowa. And he's sitting in his motorhome, the only one there, and got rained out. And he couldn't leave for 24 hours because there was so much water around him. It's all Ed's fault.
That guy made it to Central City twice and never got to hook.
Your fault, Ed?
Always. And then to boot, the whole story comes full circle again at Waterloo when Larry's talking about the bears he got that's engraved, and my son makes me look like a gigantic idiot.
That was great.
Yeah.
How do they make them? With a chainsaw, Dad.
God damn. Yep.
Oh, you had it coming. He just looked at you like,
yeah. Yep. He always looked at me like I was an idiot. He's like, come on, Dad, that's how they do it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Travis was talking about he had the comment. They were up there and they were getting ready to go and everything was underwater. One of them last years they pulled there in Richland Center. And Wyatt was walking back. I think it was Wyatt or maybe it was his daughter. I can't remember which one it was, but they were walking back to the truck and all of a sudden they were gone. They were walking through the water and they walked right through the ditch and they didn't know the ditch was there and they were gone.
What was the 1 year? It was like a tornado came through, and I got a video of people holding the signs alongside the track and almost getting blown away. And we just had terrible luck.
Yeah.
But I've been to events where it's the 6th or 7th year I've went, and it's always on the same day of the year, and the weather's perfect every year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's hard. I don't know. I think around us, it's hard to do anything earlier than the middle of June. It's really touch and go, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
It just, you never know what the weather's going to be like.
Yeah, spring planting, and especially when it's been so dry, they just lifted the frost laws up here, and now we got this rain. It's going to be bumper to bumper tractor traffic up here next week. So,
yeah.
There's days where I counted a manure truck going by every 30 seconds.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, they lift them frost laws, and there's a 3,500 cow dairy down the road. Yeah, I'll be smelling poop for 3 or 4 weeks at least.
Smelling money, not your money. Well, I want to thank you guys for coming on, and like I said, if anybody wants any picks, these guys do get a hold of them. you got to get a hold of them and get your downloads or however they want to do it. So much appreciated. Both awesome pictures you guys do. So videos and
Yeah, and I haven't went through 5% of my pictures from New Richmond yet, so there's going to be some good stuff coming up. It's,
Thankfully, I'm about done, but I don't do videos, so.
Yeah, and I've got Garden Tractors Plus, all this other stuff. I'm still doing. I still do the social media for Badger State Tractor Pullers, and I've got a lot on my plate. So, I took a couple-week vacation from working. I'm going to try to get ahead on all this stuff. Just drop it in folders already edited. Be done with it. So
that's Matt Larson. Well, again, thank both of you two for coming on. Thanks for what you do. We really appreciate it. I know it's kind of last second that we asked you guys to come on, so I do appreciate you guys taking the time to come on here.
I figured you were scraping the bottom of the barrel for guests.
No, that's what happened when Brandon asked me to be on the podcast. Everyone else had said no. So
yeah, the dog's getting anxious now. He wants to go for a walk. He's back here.
Yeah, I see your zoo running around behind you.
Yeah, the cats and the dogs. They're going to start fighting here in a minute. So.
If anybody has any ideas of somebody they want to see on the podcast, or if you have polls that you want on, advertised on the podcast, make sure you get a hold of us, messenger, call, text, whatever.
If you want to see your video on pulling with garden tractors, send me a message and I'll hunt it down.
Right.
It may not be today. It might be in a couple days. But...
Sure.
Cool.
Well, I don't think I have anything else.
No, I think I'm good. Again, thank you guys for coming on. We really appreciate it.
Yep, thanks for having us.
Sounds good. I guess we'll see y'all later.
All right.
Yep.
All right. We'll see everybody in about a month probably. So look for the next advertisement for the podcast.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.